How many ways do you, your friends and family know to get money? How many sources of money do you use now? Wealthy folks don't only get money from one place like many regular workers. They don't only make money when they're at their job from 9 to 5, exchanging their time for cash for a long time. Actually, the usual rich person has 7 various money sources. Stay to the end and find out how rich people make money in 7 or more methods. Earned money, wages, salary is how most people earn cash. But there are lots of other ways to make money. There is much more to making money than most people know. To become financially free, you need money to work for you, not only you working for money. Profit income, gain money. Gain money is cash made from selling something for more than what it costs to make or buy. When a food store sells things for more than what they paid for them, they're gaining money from profit. A truck seller makes their money when they sell cars for more than what they bought them for, earning a profit. Besides, the loans and maintenance services they provide get this type of money. Earning this kind of money requires a fair amount of work at the start, as it usually requires starting a business. However, you don't necessarily have to make the next big store or huge online shop to make money this way. A salesperson could travel to different houses selling toiletries for more than they bought them for, which would need very low starting expenses and costs. Folks who work to gain money often face challenges in getting money like this because it demands some level of boldness in terms of invested hours and funds to kick off. Furthermore, it might need an uncomfortable amount of time away from the job that brings in money to start a fresh enterprise. To be an entrepreneur and make a lot of money, you must select a product or maybe a service that you want to trade, possibly something that stems from personal enthusiasm. This could be wares, drinks, or even starting a food truck. By displaying the product attractively and treating your buyers nicely, getting money from profit can be very fulfilling financially. Wages, salary. The most usual kind of money is earned money, wages or salary, the type everyone knows about. Earned money is what you receive from working, like a job for a paycheck. This is when you get paid based on your work. Many employees get paid for every hour they work, and the money they get is connected to how much time they spend working for someone else. It could also happen when someone works for themselves and they get paid for hours worked or for jobs or even commissions. In all these cases, you have to work to get paid and the money stops when the work stops. Getting money that you work for is often taxed at a higher rate because there are fewer ways to reduce the taxes you pay. Many of us have heard the abbreviation for a job just over broke. Sometimes people can't see chances beyond the money they get from working, thinking that a job is safe and sure. It lets you stay in your comfort zone with very little danger. While that might not be something to argue with, the danger comes from depending entirely on that money source and not having different money streams. Money from interest earning. Getting money is as simple as lending your money to someone in exchange for a charge. The money received from lending depends on how long you lend the money and what it'll be used for. For example, if you loaned money to an investor who is using it to quickly resell a house, the interest rate will be much higher than if you're lending it for the purchase of a rental property that will be held for a long time. Earnings from rented properties are usually held for an extended period, often for many years, while buying homes to fix up and sell occurs very swiftly. Though the total interest earned might be similar, the terms can be quite different. Interest income might involve lending your funds to an individual who's starting their own business, lending it to someone who wants to buy a new vehicle, or simply depositing the funds in a bank account or loaning it to the government as treasury notes. A payday loan firm generates money by lending to people based on the deal that the debtor will reimburse the loan once they receive their following salary. This is one type of earnings that can be wholly passive once established, demanding no energy other than what's expended in acquiring the funds to start. Nevertheless, the sum you can make is restricted to the amount available to lend, and the amount the debtor considers reasonable to pay in interest fees. Leased revenue. This kind of earning is money usually obtained for leasing out assets, generally residents or flats, to lessees in exchange for a regular amount. However, real estate could include commercial areas, storehouses, storage trailers, and even land spaces at shopping plazas, which are probably rentals that are compensated for monthly. Many retail shops prefer to hire space instead of buying and handling their personal properties, which enables them to dedicate more time to their products and services as opposed to handling upkeep, repairs, added bookkeeping, and other property oversight responsibilities. Numerous distinct types of resources that produce leased income are present, not solely the single-family residences and apartment complexes that are usually thought of. Folks lease ships, recreational vehicles, automobiles, tools, and the directory is practically infinite. Practically each class of real estate may also be employed to produce this variety of income. To make profit from income that comes from leasing, the funds received must cover the costs of the property or object, and ideally have money left over, which is called cash flow. Revenue from dividends. Dividend revenue comprises payments stockholders get for merely possessing a dividend-paying equity, like 3M, Coca-Cola, Walmart, or Johnson & Johnson. If you possess an index of the S&P 500, for instance, you'll get about 2% of your possession value as dividend disbursements, typically provided every 3 months. People with a significant amount invested can often reach financial freedom by depending exclusively on these dividend payments, enabling the wealthy to become wealthier, so to express. In other terms, the fundamental value of the investments rises while investors receive some money flow. Many retirees opt to subsist on their dividend payouts provided they possess enough invested to finance their monthly costs. Imagine dividend earnings as money flow from a leased property. The property has the capacity to increase in value while still offering cash flow. Earnings from capital growth. This kind of profit comes from selling an item that has gained in worth, a residence that has gone up in value, an increase in the value of a stock, or an old car that was bought for $15,000 and sold for $30,000 are all instances of this. Capital growth profit is usually obtained from stocks or real estate, but there are boundless possibilities to get money in this manner. However, unlike other sorts of profit, the gains can only be realized when the item is sold for a profit. For instance, if you have a stock that is doubled in worth, the sole way to get that money is to sell the stock. The amount one can possibly get from capital growth is restricted to how many items they can buy and sell, to some extent restricting the passivity. Payment income, royalty income. Money received for intellectual assets is called royalty profit. This is usually in the form of copyrighted content, such as a song or a book. There are other forms as well, like creative work in the shape of symbols, drawings, catchphrases, or patents. This kind of profit, once produced, can make a passive profit flow for years for the original creator or seller, for as long as the material remains protected by the law. If you possess intellectual assets that you desire to earn royalty fees from, there are 2 methods to achieve this. You might trade the assets and collect payments from the purchaser based on a portion of the earnings generated by that property. As an illustration, you could transfer the copyright to a book outright and get royalties in advance, while also receiving a continuous stream of income based on the book's sales. Secondly, you could hold on to the ownership of the property and obtain royalties from someone for the property's utilization. This is known as licensing. Royalty charges and payment sums can be established in various manners in a franchise situation, like a fast food eatery. These can be determined as a set or changeable fraction of total sales. In several instances, there is a minimum royalty. Royalties are another beneficial income stream for individuals who produce an item or service and make a profit from that intellectual property. If you desire to increase your earnings, it's vital not to restrict yourself exclusively to earned income. Expanding the number of income sources in your life will enable you to initiate receiving passive income while you rest and ultimately restrict the hours spent at a job and avoid getting stuck in the cycle of working for money. There is only a finite number of hours one can expend working for earned income, so commence earning money in the manner wealthy individuals do with these alternative income opportunities. Subscribe, share, like, and drop a comment.